house. Lack of house. The Chinese government chases us away from the house, also from the hotel and the streets. We are all frustrated. We don't know where to go. You can see what is happening here. You see.
Yeah, we don't know where they are taking us to. We have been in quarantine for 14 days now. We don't know where they are taking us to. Everybody's here. Everybody's here at this hotel. I don't know. In fact, the Nigerian government should do something. What is happening?
The Chinese, in their fight to control the pandemic, is blaming and treating black people in China unfairly. The situation is getting worse every day. Discrimination of black people in China is nothing new. However, the situation has escalated since Corona went global. Black people on business trips, students, even residents who are settled with family in the country, as well as black Americans, black British, and Africans are all facing the same discrimination. They are not allowed in public facilities such as hotels, restaurants, public transport, and even McDonald's. Across Chinese city of Guangzhou, hundreds of black people are now homeless and surviving off handouts on the streets for no reason. Sadly, while all this is going on, Chinese people are being welcomed in most African countries with open arms.
Why is Africa, and indeed in Nigeria, being targeted? You have European people here, you have people from America, you have people from other countries, you have people from Spain, you have people from Italy in Guangzhou.
Hello guys, it's Melin here from African Glitz.
Guangzhou is home to one of China's largest African communities and has become a hub for African traders buying and selling goods across the African continent. Some recent viral videos surfaced showing Nigerians and other black people lamenting the inhumane treatment they have been receiving from the Chinese authorities, who they said have not provided them with any alternative food or shelter after evicting them from their residence.
We are just walking on the road. You see, they cannot give us house. They cannot give us hotel. They cannot provide a place we can stay. They are just following us. You see, they are just following us. They don't.
China's discrimination among black people did not start today, but things have escalated after the pandemic and several other incidents. According to reports, one of the incidents was after a Nigerian traveler who tested positive in a hospital was detained in China for allegedly attacking and biting a Chinese nurse after attempting to escape from isolation. The 47-year-old man reportedly beat up the nurse after she stopped him from leaving his quarantine ward at the hospital in Guangzhou on Wednesday, April the 1st. Ms. Wong is said to have suffered multiple injuries to her face, neck and waist after the encounter. Apart from the man testing positive, there were no reports on the details of what happened before things escalated. Another incident that sparked the mass lockdown of black people was how local authorities in the industrial center of the city said at least 8 people diagnosed with the illness had spent time in a city called Little Africa, and 5 out of them were Nigerians who expressed widespread anger of the virus. The Chinese authorities claimed that they disobeyed and broke the mandatory quarantine and reportedly visited 8 restaurants and other public places instead of staying at home. As a result of this, nearly 2,000 people that came into contact with them tested positive. That's not all. The police and public health bureau in Guangzhou also told reporters that the officials responded to rumors that 3,000 black people in the city were setting off a second pandemic, which caused panic. But this turned out to be all rumors. However, the Chinese government gave out orders to its citizens and demand that black people are not allowed in restaurants, businesses, public transport, and other public places for the sake of their own health. And anyone who sees them should notify the police right away. Landlords, hotels, business owners followed this order and reported any black person they saw trying to access public facilities to the police. The Chinese also began kicking out and discriminating black people all over the country and forced them out into the streets, cold and hungry, as they are not allowed to even buy their own food.
Chinese full Africa, Chinese leave Africa. Africa no do anything, but now Chinese come here, pursue us land. Chinese, Africa, everywhere Chinese.
Nigerian chairman for Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri, however, blamed Nigerians for not obeying the Chinese rules.
Some videos going viral where people now decide that you must bully through social media. That is not acceptable, and I don't think any one of us should be allowed to be bullied through social media. Now, here's the situation. Some people were kept in a hotel in China, regular 14 days quarantine, free of charge. After the 14 days quarantine, you're supposed to go to your homes. Now you have some of these people who decided not to go to anywhere but start walking on the streets and saying, China, what are you doing with us? So normally we should learn to be disciplined and obey law. They never went to the mission in Guangzhou. There's a mission in Guangzhou. We have a very functional Nigerian diaspora organization, very efficient, very proactive. They didn't report to them. Now you went on the street and recorded yourself. Some people, rather than ask questions, just started saying blackmailing. That is blackmail. Now those Nigerians, the federal government has said you can come back home. Go to the mission, register, put on your corona test, and then with the numbers compiled, you will be brought back home. Don't from the mission there, the mission in Guangzhou, let them go there, register their names, show their documents and all that, and register properly. And then the Nigerian mission in Guangzhou will liaise with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and bring them back. Names are already being compiled. They're on the street. Are they supposed to be on the streets walking around in China? No. You're not supposed to be moving about in groups. You're supposed to be in your home. They are walking around. If they have homes, go there. If they don't have homes, go to the mission. Register. Bring your documentation and the mission will arrange for you to come back home. So please, I want to stress that all that social media bullying should not be tolerated, should not be accepted. Let's do things properly. Let's be disciplined. Let's follow processes.
Give me all the Nigerian passports.
Individual there. Hey, so
How many? I have 3 here.
yes, 3.
One. How many? It's not acceptable to the federal government of Nigeria. In Nigeria, as I mentioned to you last time, we have a lot of Chinese there. I don't think you have ever received any information that the government of Nigeria go to their various houses and pick them and quarantine them. You can never.
But this issue is beyond Nigerian and disobedience, as we can see. Even Black Americans and other African countries are facing the same problem. Black residents on social media are saying that the police ordered public facilities, including restaurants and bars, not to serve clients who appear to be of African or Black origin. The local officials launched mandatory testing and self-quarantine for anyone with African contact, claiming it's a response to a rise in virus infection in the city of Guangzhou. However, Africans are saying even after the 14 days quarantine, they are being given another 14 days or more against their will, despite testing negative. There are no documents issued to prove that they have been tested, so that they wouldn't be tested again by another set of officials. Africans who have lived in the country for over a year are also being treated the same way, while Black people with white partners face separation with their partner, who is treated well and offered a better alternative.
Here in Guangzhou, people are sleeping outside. Businessmen have been chased from hotels, sleeping outside. I'm lucky that I could speak Chinese. How about those of our parents that are coming here just to buy goods and go back home?
Black people are being forced and put into compulsory quarantine, whether they are positive, traveled outside the country or not. In some cases, landlords are giving families 1 hour to pack out of their apartments, regardless of their status, children or business, while some other people are sleeping under bridges after being forced out of their apartments and hotel rooms. A Ugandan lady who went to the Ugandan embassy in January was told that the government haven't made any provisions for them. She went back in February as the situation escalated. She was told the same over and over again up till today.
All right, so have you tried to engage, the Ugandan embassy in China to see if there's any intervention that can come through?
Yes, thank you so much. In the last week of January, I was talking to our chairman at the embassy, Ugandan embassy in Beijing, and he told us that the government has not put any provision for anyone. Then in February, I tried to go to the consulate because now our situation was bad because I'm not alone, we are very many. They told me the same thing, that the government doesn't put in provision for anyone. Then I contacted the ambassador himself. It's 1 week back since I contacted the ambassador. He told me the same thing. Then last Saturday, I contacted him again. The ambassador told me that every Ugandan everywhere needs the government's help, and the government cannot give help to anyone. And the only thing we can do is to contact our families.
10 African community leaders in Guangzhou are reportedly under house arrest under the term quarantine. The All African Association of Guangzhou called for the Chinese authorities to end the inhumane treatment, hatred and outright discrimination against Africans that is currently going on. On April 9th, a video of a Nigerian diplomat went viral after he confronted Chinese officials, asking them why they were also seizing and keeping passports of African citizens.
The combination of the 14 days, the first 14 days is acceptable by us. Another 14 days, you didn't communicate to us that you are going to do another 14 days after 14 days. They have tested negative and then they have given them the paper. Why are they giving them another 14 days? That is one. Two, all the police, the document, this passport belongs to the federal government of Nigeria. In line with international practice, no any country have the right to seize the international passport of another country. Wait! They are not a criminal. They are not anything. Why are you harassing them? These are the things we want to know.
Who arrested?
You are harassing them.
Who arrested?
You are harassing them. If you are not, I will tell you that you are harassing them.
Oh, who arrested?
They are police. Your police.
Oh, who arrested?
They are.
Where is the person who arrested? Where?
You are harassing them. I'm not saying that you are. Yes, you are harassing them. You are humiliating them. Who? Your police.
Who?
Because they are going to their house. We have the videos.
The Chinese ambassador, who appeared to be clueless and unable to comprehend the conversation, spoke less and said they are taking it seriously. On April 10th, this Nigerian diplomat who rescued some Nigerians was reportedly assaulted by the Chinese.
All of you want to pee me? Good.
Nigerian officials on the same April 10th met with Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, who claimed he isn't aware of the disturbing allegations of ill treatment of Nigerian citizens in China. He was shown the viral clip and he promised to look into it and get back to Femi by Tuesday of April the 14th.
You said you haven't seen any of the videos that are out there. I'm at liberty to show them to you. Everybody has a phone if you want, if that will convince you, because you said you haven't had an official complaint. You know what our government, including those of us here, the resistance we put up just to allow your medical personnel to come in a couple of days ago. Have you spoken to your Nigerian counterpart in China? Have you spoken to the Nigerian ambassador in China?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Have you spoken
none
to
of this issue?
I'm talking about this issue. Have you spoken to any official Chinese of the Chinese government in China?
Definitely. We have to, like I promised the foreign minister, we take the very...
No, but you have not.
No, we have done it. But
you spoke to the Chinese government?
We're still waiting for because we are here. We don't get the picture, the whole picture. So, but we have to report the concern from Right Honorable Speaker and the Minister. We take it very seriously.
Yeah, whether you have, please, by Monday, because I'm aware that this is a weekend, but by Monday, so you have a couple of days, or Tuesday, please, or Tuesday, because Monday is a public holiday. Well, today's a
According to the New Yorker, Chinese Foreign Minister spokesman told reporters that the Chinese most urgent task is to prevent overseas imports of the virus, but they also acknowledged that there might have been some misunderstanding in the implementation of measures. Abike Dabiri also said while expecting Nigerians to obey laws of other countries, especially in these trying times, she also asked the Chinese authorities not to make their laws discriminatory as consultations continue between both countries to find an amicable solution to the issue at hand. Ghana has allegedly condemned the incident and calls it inhumane treatment, but no confrontation has taken place yet by the government. Kenya has also spoken. A foreign minister's statement noted unfair response against foreigners, particularly of African origin, from some locals in Guangzhou, especially landlords. The report said the Chinese embassy in Nairobi had told Kenya foreign ministers that the authorities in Guangzhou have been asked to take immediate action to safeguard the legitimate rights of the African concerned. While this is classified as an attack on all black people in China, sadly, the most set of people getting the most hit are Africans, and they want their countries to support them. According to reports, the Nigerian embassy in Beijing is preparing to evacuate all its citizens from China in response to the terrible discrimination. The viral infection in Guangzhou has also sparked a tolerant abuse online, with many Chinese internet users posting racist comments and calling Africans to be deported, among several other inhumane things. Does the Chinese see Africans as subhuman venoms who are fair game? Do you think this incident will open the eyes of African governments who are always doing business with the Chinese?
One is 8 months pregnant, the other is 6 months pregnant. They cannot access hospital.
Patricia, the people that came for the business, the people that came for the business are different from those people are saying in China.
Now,
they live in China.
I mean, do they have the place?
They have houses.
Okay.
They should go back to their houses.
Yes.
And then we should stop the issue of going to their houses and pick them. If you want to do 14, additional 14,
yes, 14
I'm
days.
advising you,
14
as a
days.
responsive government, quarantine everybody, no movement. Let everybody sit at home for 14 days. Yes, it's acceptable.
You know,
but if you are going to say only the Africa, we are not going to accept that. And then we are not going to accept.
Not just Africa, even the Chinese.
No,
you know, even
now
all
do it
Chinese,
for all the Chinese, everybody.
Not in Chinese. I mean, those who are close contact.
They have never close contact. They have never close contact. Yes, they have never, because
how they came together.
Let me tell you.
How they came together if they are not close contact.
Your people, your police, that you have a pick from everywhere and bring them inside the
Who called them?
Who
You called them together.
I didn't call them.
I know.
I didn't call anybody. Your police.
So how they can come, with so many together?
That is exactly what I'm saying. Your police picked them. Your police want to arrest me today.
Most of them were evicted from their houses.
Man, are you from?
Yes, my officer.
Okay. So, okay.
Most of them were evicted from their houses.
Because actually you don't them mad no. Do now I'm lodge in a hotel. So between the 2 months. When you're up on now, no go outside. So Monday we are here. The following day I should say no. So men's money.
Share your thoughts with us on the comment section down below. We are diving deep into politics. If you enjoyed this video, please let us know on the comment section as well. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to get notified every time we upload a new video so that you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching and see you on our next one. This Easter bank holiday weekend, Sendwave is giving out £10, $10 or €10 to anyone who uses the app to send money to their loved ones in Africa for the first time. All you need to do is use our promo code GLITZ.
There are no transfer fees and the rates are so cheap. In fact, Sendwave is the best option to send money to your loved ones in Africa. Some people ask, how do they make their money? Well, Sendwave make a little money from the exchange rate And when thousands of people use SendWave to send money, now that little change they make makes a difference. Unlike other companies who charge you to send your money and also make money from the exchange rate, SendWave is very reliable and safe for those who are worried about keying in their information. I have been using SendWave for over a year now and I have never ever had any issues with them. The team have a lot of engineers who are working 24/7 to make sure they have the safest encryption as possible. And they currently use 120-byte encryption to make sure your money is always safe. When you have an issue while using the app, which isn't even the case because I've never had an issue, there is a huge support team who are happy to help. All you need to do is call them through the app and they'll be there and ready to help you right away. I have come to realize sometimes many people don't know where to key in the code. Well, it can be found written in green at the top of the app. So, are you going to try SendWave today? Don't forget to use our promo code Glitz to have £10, $10 or €10 added to your account. So, which countries in Africa can you send money to? You can send money to Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda so far. If SendWave isn't operating in your country yet, don't worry, they are right on it.